So hey, Logic Pro Hacks, this is Brian, also known as Faded Shadows. Well, welcome. I haven't been around in a while, so I decided to do another tutorial video. And a lot has changed lately. We had Logic 2, Logic 10.2 came out with the new Alchemy. Very nice. I may do a review on that, but I may not. I like to stay away from mainstream, because that's just the way I roll. Yeah. Anyhow, I thought I would do something a little bit different today. As you see, I have Ableton open. And you actually see my voice being recorded right now. And that is what I'm speaking into. And I wanted to kind of give just a feel of things on how do you do that? So what I like to do when I record my videos is I like to have a separate audio channel that I can tweak, and also a separate audio channel from, like, if I record onto it through my music from Logic. And I don't like them too mixed in. I want to be able to control, like, sometimes I just want the awesomeness of the music just to be on its own channel. So that being said, this is how I do it. So you can use any program that you want to for the recording part, as this part right here. Now you could see, like, I believe there's like a free one out. What's the name of that stupid free one? Gosh, now I'm having a blank. Oh, Audacity. That's what it was. Anyways, must be all those drugs I did in high school. Yeah, I know. So, let me take a sip of my beer here. That's good stuff. It's Schoenerbach. Real popular down in Texas or Austin. Not from there, but I got hooked onto it. Brother-in-law, he's from there, and he said, and he swears by it. So I started drinking it, and I do. It's pretty good beer. I like it. The first thing we want to do is we want to go over the setup. So we'll go over here in live, and we'll open up the preferences. Now you can see in the audio right here, you just click this little tab. You have your core audio, you have blah, 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 typical thing. But look here. Look at the audio input device. That says Ag Logic 4 in, 4 out. And the audio output device is my interface, my audio box USB. Which is the only thing I have hooked up right now is just a mic input. And I'm using a PreSonus M7 mic, the mic that came with that little box. And I have on a, I'll take a picture. Maybe and maybe not. So then if you look at the input config, you'll see that I have one mono for my mic in, and then I'll have a stereo and, in case if I want to hook up like a keyboard or something like that, but you could probably uncheck that part. But the 3-4, that part right there, input, is going to be my stereo input from Logic. So how that works, so let's go ahead and just close that out for right now, is if you go on your MIDI channel or your MIDI editor, audio MIDI setup window, it's that little keyboard icon inside the utility folder, which is inside your applications folder. And you click on that, and you do show audio window if it's not open. And I'll bring it over here so you guys can see that. Now in here, I have another video that explains how to get into this. It's like MIDI setup, and it goes into detail how to open all this stuff up. So I'm not going to go in detail and bore you with those minor details. This is more of an advanced tutorial on how to set up audio recording on different channels in Logic to do tutorial videos. So in here, you'll see that I have this aggregate channel. You just do new, create aggregate device. And it'll come up with this window right here. And then I pick, just like that, I select my Soundflower. Now, You're going to say, well, what the heck is Soundflower? Soundflower is a free, awesome utility. You just Google Soundflower, S-O-U-N, if I can spell it right, N-D, flower. I think there are a bunch of hippies or something. I don't know. Why the flower name? I have no idea. But anyways, it sounds kind of cool. I dig it. It's groovy, man. So you can download it, and I believe it's by Cycling 74. And great, you could download it, install it. I think the latest version is like 1.6.6b or something like that. Once you install it, it's like it's in there and it comes up. You may have to restart your PC or something like that. Or did I just say PC? What the heck am I thinking? It's a Mac. So then once you restart it, may not have to, and it'll show up in your sound bar. It'll show up right here. You don't have to worry about this part, but I just want to show you it does show up in your sound thing right here. A 2-channel and 64 channel. So right now I have that selected. Cool. All right. Well, that's neat. And so you just check those two, and I just named it like Ag Logic. All right. So that's set up. So now I want to go back. I'm going to go into Live Preferences. Comes back up again. Now you understand this aggregate logic 4 in, 4 out. That is the input. Output is going to be my audio box, because that is what is coming out so I can hear. And that's where I have my headphones plugged into. Since I have Live open, or you can use that other free program that I just can't remember the name of. I brought this over here and I wanted to show you what's going on. So I have my ScreenFlow going on. I wanted to show you when you open up Logic, what happens. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hit Logic. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Now, keep in mind, I have Ableton already open, and Ableton has to be opened first. And this is kind of a hack thing that I'm doing, because I want it done this way, because I'm trying to override you override something here, and you'll see. All right, opening up Logic right now. Da-dum! Oh my gosh! Yeah, I did this on purpose. Now, it's saying a different rewire host application is running. Of course, Ableton is running, and I want that. So I hit OK, but I just wanted to show you that, because that's okay, because we're kind of circumventing the process here. So I let it go, blah, blah, blah. And it does its thing. Now it's open. Now I have my Logic set to basically not open any windows, because a lot of times I'm going from different projects and stuff, and that doesn't really matter. So I just wanted to show you that part. Now if I just go File, New, pick Software Instrument, Create, blah, 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 boom. Now, let's do something cool here. You can see that I have already armed the, let's see if move it in here. You can see I have a Logic Pro X input already armed. And you can see that I have channel 3 and 4 set up. Now remember, let's show you first. Let's show you what's going on with Logic, so you understand where the 3 and 4 is coming from. In Ableton. So pick the Ableton and go Live Preferences. And you can see that on my input config, I have 3 and 4. All right, it's cool. And I have the Ag Logic for the audio input device on the Ableton. Output config is just that. Don't really have to do anything for that. So now let's go ahead. Let's go back to Logic. Click over here. And let's go to File Preferences, Logic Preferences, Audio. Dun-dun-dun. Look at that. My output now is the Soundflower 2-channel, because I'm using the 2-channel. And that's also in my, here, let's check this out again. And go Audio MIDI Step, Window, Show Audio Window. Bring it over here because it's opening up my second monitor. and it's coming in right here. And look at this. I have that set right there. Now you can move these things. See how it highlights? You could drop and drag in any order you want. I like to have my audio box in the first order and Soundflower in the second order. So you can see how the 3 and 4 and the 1 and 2 right here. 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So that's really handy. And then we set the output device to Soundflower channel 2 channel. The input device is my audio box. Because say like if I wanted to record a keyboard or something, I don't know. All right, so that's cool. Now let's do the ultimate test. Let's open up Alchemy. The big processor hog. It is. It's freaking so processor heavy. Here, I'll show you. I'll play something on the keyboard. Play a chord. E. Look at that. It's like already... Look at that CPU meter up there. I'm just holding it. And it's like in the sustain. It's doing that. The CPU load's already halfway. Now it's going like way up. Freaking Logic. All right, enough of that. All right. So anyway, so I played a chord and you heard it. There was a slight delay, and I was expecting that. I mean, there is going to be some latency with this kind of setup. You can take care of it, and keep in mind that move that over on here. That I also have ScreenFlow going on, and I'm talking recording Soundflower, Ableton. However, we can change things around a little bit. We go into preferences again, audio. We could change our buffer size to like 256. That'll help out. That'll take some of the latency down, and it should have no problem doing it. And also make sure that your processor threads are set to 8. Buffer, you could probably change that to medium. Basically, you just got to play with it. Whatever sounds good for you. Me, I don't really care about the latency because when I record stuff, especially doing tutorial videos, I don't really do it to where I need to have it like instant for me. And so that's just my thing. That's just the way I roll. And maybe I just gotten used to it. Again, I have a very old computer. I have a Mac Pro 1.1, and I did a custom mod in it. And the custom mod is I actually went in and I upgraded the processors from 4 cores to 8 cores, and got like the 3 gigahertz, the Xeon ones. And also I did a custom firmware upgrade where I'm able to run Mavericks on this thing. So this computer is totally hacked. And that's the way I roll, man. I'm Logic Pro Hacks. I love to hack things. So that being said, we got that going. And so that's pretty much, let's see here. Let's put this back over here again. And so we could play around with it. You know, you could set up whatever you want to do. So all the audio. So let's go ahead and just play a little bit something else. You know, pick something and bring this over here. And a 70s space pad. That's it. And now watch this go as I play something. I'll do like an F chord, a big F chord. See? Sounds like something from Moby. He's all into that ambient analog stuff, which is kind of cool. All right, and then, you know, let's try this one. See how it made that wave pattern? So the cool thing about this is, now, granted, keep in mind, you know, you got ScreenFlow, and you're going to have to export all this into separate channels, which I do, and you're going to have to sync it. Now, that's the hard part. Now, what I like to do is I'll get everything all set up, and I will basically, I'll start talking. I'll do like test 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll clap. You know, for some reason, I think a lot of times ScreenFlow will come up and it'll count down. You know, when you have ScreenFlow recording, it'll do this like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll actually count with it but I'll have all this already set up in my audio recording, and as it flashes or it does something right before it hits the last number, like 1, and then I'll just go beep, and I'll just say that really loud. And for some reason, when I hit that beep at the right is when that ScreenFlow hits, it somehow it gives me a good sync point, and then I'm able to hear it, and I'm able to line both audios up to it. Now you're going to say, well, how do you get your Logic audio lined up? Well, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just hit it. I'll have I'll just hit a note in one of the instruments at the same time I hit beep. Something like that. You could clap or, let me say beep, and hit the key at the same time or something. It's a poor man's way of syncing, but I find that I don't have any trouble. And other times is I could just tell, you just listen to both waves, you're talking, and you'll say, oh, this is the part where I play the piano. And you get it on, and the thing is I'm not syncing to, what really gets hard is, say, like, if I have a camera, and I want to do like a selfie image and put the selfie image or selfie video in a little corner, and I want to sync my lips. Now that gets a little harder, and that's really tough. And sometimes I just, I'm getting to the point now where I'm not even doing the little selfie videos anymore. It just gets too much. So, but I may bring it back on. I don't know. It's just, they say that it actually helps your videos when you have a picture, or not a picture, but when you have yourself being recorded at the same time. But it does use up a lot of resources. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing I wanted to show you is in Ableton here, just make sure that you have both tracks armed or it won't do anything. And let me show another trick that I'm doing is I actually send my mic to sends only, and I have this jacked to send A. And then if you go over here and you look at send A, you'll see that it's not enabled. Now you're asking, why would you do that? Well, first of all, I don't want to hear my voice, and because there's a big delay in my voice once it goes through all this shit right here. So, I just disable it. See, and the thing is if you disable it here, it won't come through. But if you go and put it through the send here, it basically kind of another hack that you could do to record your voice. Now, if you notice on my other channel here, which is set for 3 and 4, the both monitor and is set. And then also I have it record enable. Now, the other thing is when you want to do record enable, I think, you just hit the hold down your command button and make sure that that is done like that. Cool. All right, so enough tips and tricks today on how to record yourself and separated tracks. The cool thing about this is I can open up another channel, and it depends on how many channels my interface has. Or I can even, the other thing, like I for example, all right, say like, well, what if you wanted to record audio from your keyboard? Well, that's kind of easy. Like in the Mac, it has a input channel on like basically like you would plug like a 1/8 inch jack in for like a small microphone input. It's also like you could use headphone jacks. So what I do is I just take a converter cable from my keyboard. I think if they're like 1/4, and then it goes to, it was like a special cable that I got, and it goes to, it's like a stereo jack cable that splits stereo, and it splits to the one side is the left side and the other side is right side, and it goes into the keyboard, and then that plugs into my Mac. And so then what I do is I just create another channel in here, insert audio track, and then I just have to go back into my MIDI audio setup, and you show audio window. And I just have to enable the built-in input. Enable that. And so then on my aggregate, and it would show up. You would just change whatever channel you would want it to be. So I hope I didn't confuse you with that one, but if you have any more questions about that and how to record your keyboard, I could do another video. But I wanted to keep this one short. And I just want to show you how to record your voice on a separate channel and have Logic come in on another channel. I wanted to interject just another thing is you're like, okay, so after you're done recording, how do you export all this out? And it's really easy. You just, of course, hit your stop button. And you just go over to you just make sure that this is enabled. Or what I do is I actually change my sends only to master. So I don't even have to worry about if that's enabled or not. So then and then also change this to off and off. See the little off button, hit the off button for both of them. And so that kind of like it, make sure you're not recording. You got to hit the stop button. But once you do that, you just go up here, live. Where is it? Export audio video. See, and it'll hit the thing. They'll say stop. But I don't want it to stop. But it'll come up with a little screen. And the thing I noticed is you could like right click on the audio. I'm sorry, it's right here. And you can say show source, and you can actually get the raw audio that it picked up. And you don't even have to do an export if you're in a hurry. I think it saves it. Like I have mine to set as an A file. Or you could have it set to WAV, whatever. So, and I think it'll pick it up. And then you could just throw that audio file just drop and drag right into your ScreenFlow program, and then you just make sure you sync it up with your content and your video. Cool. And that's another trick. Export. But I like to do an export, and I'll export. Oh yeah, and so when you export, make sure that the one. Like, for example, like I will actually only enable one track, and I'll actually disable I'll just make sure this track is disabled, and I'll do 2 exports. Yeah, it might take a little while to run the export and export each channel, but it just comes out so much better, especially when you import it into ScreenFlow or whatever recording program that you're using. And you got 2 separate clean audio channels, one for Logic and the other one for, whatever. For your audio source, and they're not all mixed up together and you get all weird audio crap. Because that's the bad thing about ScreenFlow is they have shit for recording your voice in there. Yeah, I know they got the newer ones out there, but I like to do it this way. I have more control over things, and it's fun. Yeah, by the way, what do you think of this new Logic thing? I mean, do you like it? Has anybody in there got it yet? I really like the Alchemy synth. It's very processor heavy, but I like it. There's some cool sounds in it. I mean, really, really nice. And you could hit these things and it changes the tone. Cool. Yeah. I want to make this like a short tutorial and just kind of like open up a discussion table on how do you do it. This is the way I do it. You can use that Audacity. You can pretty much use any program, Cubase, whatever 2 programs that you can open up without it interfering with Logic and doing the rewire. I like using Ableton just because I can load in, I have a bunch of cool plugins on the mic channel. So if you have any questions, just hit me up with a message, leave a comment below, and, stay groovy, my friends. Stay groovy. All right, bye.